Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Honolulu, where we strive to build the beloved community and boldly grow compassion, justice, and joy. It is good to be together and share our hearts. We're glad that you are here. I extend a special greeting to visitors and newcomers this morning in the building and on Zoom. For those in our sanctuary, please join us right after the service for light refreshments and fellowship so we can talk story and get to know you better. My name is Catherine Graham. My pronouns are she, her. In the spirit of inclusivity, the Unitarian Universalists at all major meetings, online or in person at General Assembly, describe their physical appearance to those who may be have vision impairment. So in that spirit, I want to say that I'm elderly with gray hair and glasses. I'm short and wide. And today I'm wearing, a yellow kind of wheat-colored top and black pants. So, those of you who didn't know, you could not see, now you know, and you can give me some feedback on whether or not you think this inclusivity is going a little too far, or if it's really a good thing. So I have the honor of being your worship associate this morning with our worship leader, Mary MacKay. And Mary is a longtime member of our congregation. She's a lifelong UU, an artist, and a geologist. She's also a hiker and an avid moviegoer. So this morning, she brings us good trouble.
At the unnational monument along the Canadian border. This is the field where the battle did not happen, where the unknown soldier did not die. This is the field where grass joined hands, where no monument stands, and the only heroic thing is the sky. Birds fly here without any sound, unfolding their wings across the open. No people killed or were killed on this ground, hollowed by neglect and an air so tame that people celebrate it by forgetting its name.
Please join me in our chalice lighting words. We light this chalice. They come up soon. Chalice lighting words. Okay, everyone. We light this chalice to kindle the light of compassion, the power of justice, and the overwhelming promise of joy. Seated or standing, please lift your voices in song for our gathering music, Circle Round for Freedom. the limits of tyrants. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are people who want crops without plowing up the ground.
They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its waters.
This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle.
Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will.
Find out what people will submit to, and you have found out the exact amount of injustice which will be imposed upon them.
The limits of tyrants are prescribed by the endurance of those they oppress.
The words of Frederick Douglass.
Thank you. I want to talk to you about Jesus. Not baby Jesus at Christmas or the risen Christ of Easter, but the man who lived in tumultuous times, whose teachings defied his own religious leaders and challenged the power of the Roman Empire. The man who could have fled, who didn't have to go to Jerusalem, who wept in the garden before he was arrested and tortured. Jesus was a troublemaker. In our times, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, John Lewis, and more, men who preached peace but faced violence, who knowingly walked into the jaws of hatred for something larger than themselves. There are many forms of courage. Most creatures will fight to defend self, family, pack, or tribe. But the farther we get from home, the harder it is. The hypothetical question of whether we would have hidden neighbors in the attic if it meant endangering our own family is disturbingly hard to answer with any certainty. I am not a brave person, but I also think we misunderstand the ways in which we may be called to moral courage, to make good trouble. I don't generally like to talk politics in church, but there are times, and I think we are in one of them, when the moral issues surrounding political events becomes imperative, and the need to address those moral issues in religious community is essential. The changes have come so fast and furious, it's hard to know which way to turn. And that indeed is the point. The checks and balances designed to restrain executive power have been overwhelmed, and many of those who study such things believe we have already crossed the boundary from democracy to autocracy. Those are words I never thought I would say. In 2016, I said, "Our institutions will hold." I no longer believe that is true. Congress is impotent. The courts are important, but they cannot save us. Stephen Colbert cannot save us. We have to save us. And while outrage comes easily, it is a distraction I cannot afford. Instead, I have been reading, thinking, listening, trying to understand both the dangers we confront and how best to resist them. And because I am not by nature a brave person, I have paid particular attention to the actions of the many ordinary people who in deeds, large and small, have acted in extraordinary ways. One of the hallmarks of autocracy is the use of fear. Fear is ordinarily our ally. It warns us the water is too deep, the tiger too near. Franklin Delano Roosevelt famously said, "The only thing to fear is fear itself." It wasn't true then, and it isn't true now. There is plenty to fear. In an interview last spring, Lisa Murkowski, Republican senator from Alaska, a senator, said, "We are all afraid because retaliation is real. Not only that you may face political retribution, but the threat of violence is real." This spring, the Pennsylvania governor's residence was set afire. 2 months later, a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband were assassinated in their home. And just weeks ago, the conservative activist Charlie Kirk was killed in front of 3,000 college students. The point of political violence is fear. In 2020, a United States district judge's son was murdered and her husband shot. People are now using her murdered son's name to send pizzas to the homes of judges. A chilling message. Fear amplifies our perception of risk. When we tiptoe for fear of waking the tiger, when publications and institutions self-censor, when powerful law firms cut deals, when universities roll over, they have ceded the ground without a fight. Capitulation is contagious, but so too is courage. Those who would misuse power know this. They isolate. Like a wolf cutting cattle, you separate one from the herd. It's intentional and predatory. First one law firm, university, outspoken immigrant. Individuals are vulnerable. In 2010, a wave of pro-democracy uprisings swept through much of the Arab world. There was a story that I read at the time but have never been able to find again, so the details are lost to memory. In one of the many beautiful town squares that are common in that part of the world, there was a large fountain. Soldiers were stationed nearby to prevent crowds from gathering in the square, as they had in other towns. But people would come one at a time and drop a flower into the fountain. When the oppressive government realized that the flowers were a symbol of resistance and a show of strength, they didn't have the soldiers stop the people from coming. But as each person dropped their flower and departed, the soldiers would retrieve the flower from the fountain so that when the next person came, instead of taking heart from the many flowers, they would think they were alone. Solidarity is one of the secrets of moral courage. We are not only stronger together, we are braver together. Rosa Parks may have been by herself when she refused to give up her seat on the bus, but she was not alone when the black citizens of Montgomery walked and carpooled to work for 381 days. It was a catalyzing moment, like the beatings on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the fire hoses, lunch counters, and freedom riders, like Stonewall, Kent State, like George Floyd. Sometimes there are bright lines that snap us out of the ordinary and into action. But sometimes the rule of law is whittled away bit by bit, and we try to shake off what we think we see, or think this too will pass, as many things do. Our country has come through difficult times before, which is what I have always told myself. But it is also true that we still carry the scars of the Civil War and abandonment of Reconstruction, of Jim Crow, McCarthyism, and Watergate. We have never faced an administration so unconcerned for the Constitution, a Congress so passive in response, or a Supreme Court so complicit. The slide into authoritarianism or dictatorship isn't a single clear line, and it isn't irreversible. But like climate change, the farther we go, the harder it is to turn around, the greater the harm, and the deeper the scars we will carry. Some of this is within our influence, and some is the cards we are dealt. Stephen Levitsky, a Harvard professor who studies the backsliding of democracies, notes two factors in our favor. In democracies that have unraveled, the president has overwhelming approval, 75 to 80%, numbers almost unheard of in America. Lower approval slows the consolidation of power. But even more important than popularity is the organization and financial strength of the society. Whatever our shortcomings, the United States has a very large, very wealthy, very diverse private sector. Beyond Zuckerberg and Bezos, there are literally millions of millionaires in the United States. That's a lot of money and a lot of well-organized foundations and civic organizations with high-powered lawyers. And the Democratic Party, for all its flaws, presents an organized, well-financed, viable electoral opposition. This does not mean our democracy isn't in real danger. In a democracy, there should not be a risk or a cost to publicly opposing the government. True, the worst autocrats don't extort journalists and bully academics. They round them up and throw them in jail. Still, a president who rules by fiat, attacks courts, militarizes American cities, threatens media, and orders law enforcement to pursue his enemies is operating far outside the norms of a healthy republic. In the words of Ben Franklin, a republic, if you can keep it. I am reminded almost daily of the poem First They Came by Martin Niemöller, who began as an anti-Semitic Nazi supporter and was later imprisoned for speaking out against Nazi control of churches. First they came for the communists, he said, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, the trade unionists, the Jews. And I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Cory Booker speaks of a poverty of empathy, of realizing that what is happening to my neighbor fundamentally implicates and endangers me. The Reconciliation Bill, now law, has funded the creation of a secret police force and prisons with virtually no oversight, into which people are disappeared. Personal data, which should be protected by privacy laws, is being consolidated into a central database. And the presence of armed and masked men emerging from black SUVs is no longer something that happens somewhere else. It may be, as some think, that extremism will founder under the weight of overreach. But Soviet dissident and chess master Garry Kasparov warns that when one side has a strategy and the opposite side is in disarray, the outcome may not be the one we wish for. Hope is not a strategy. But there are strategies that work. The Nobel Peace Prize nominee Gene Sharp, perhaps the world's leading expert on nonviolent revolution, wrote a 93-page guide to toppling autocrats, which has inspired dissidents around the world. Dictators are never as strong as they tell you they are, he said, and people are never as weak as they think they are. Harvard professor Erica Chenoweth notes that movements are most effective when they reach across the divides and actually change minds. Successful social protests are disciplined with a clear message. Large, diverse crowds suggest that whatever the protesters are saying is something that's important and widely shared, and are viewed more sympathetically by those we wish to persuade. The No Kings protests in June drew 4 to 6 million people across the country, many of them waving American flags. I was on Kauai, where 1,000 people lined the highway in the rain, and we were not all aging baby boomers in Birkenstocks. When Democrats walked out of the Texas legislature to deny a quorum for gerrymandering the state, they knew they couldn't win. They lost. But the issue was elevated in the public eye and galvanized support around the country. Losing loudly is a crucial feature of successful political movements. When people fight principled battles that they know they may lose, others pay attention. It matters that people are in the street. But if we sacrifice effectiveness and only give voice to our outrage, we will lose the larger battle. From 1 Corinthians, if I speak in the tongues of men or angels but have not love, I am like a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. Without free and fair elections, without an independent judiciary and freedom of thought and expression, without the constitutional protections of our still imperfect union, without a vision that allows us to rise above this moment and speak across the divides, without love of country that transcends politics, we are like a clanging cymbal, and our voices will go unheard. Like many such struggles, it is likely this one is generational, and like the tree that's planted by the river, it may take years to bear fruit. Our role is to plant and protect that tree. Jesus was a troublemaker. He entered Jerusalem in a deliberate act of theological and political confrontation, riding donkeys, waving palm fronds, mocking the Roman governor. It wasn't pageantry, it was protest. The next day, he went to the temple, the heart of both religious and economic life, and overturned the tables of the bankers. Jesus wasn't killed for preaching love or healing the sick or blasphemy. Rome didn't crucify philosophers or miracle workers. Rome crucified insurrectionists. The sign nailed above his head, King of the Jews, was a political indictment and public warning that those who demand justice will be crushed. Around the world and in our own country, we have seen the risk to those who stand against the forces of oppression. There is nothing about nonviolent resistance that protects you from retribution or from violence. And yet, throughout history, women and men drop flowers into fountains, board buses, link arms, and march for something greater than oneself. Martin Luther King said, "Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." And courage. When we engage in nonviolent protest and resistance against injustice, when we make good trouble, when we bend the arc of the universe just a little, we are not alone. We stand on the shoulders of giants. May it be so. Amen. I'd like to say a few words before we sing. Our next song was composed by Holly Near in 1978 in the hours immediately following the assassination of San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and City Supervisor Harvey Milk, the first openly gay man elected to public office in California. As darkness fell on the city, an impromptu candlelight march of tens of thousands started in the Castro district and ended at the steps of City Hall, where this song was sung. Some of the words have changed through the years, but it remains a call to action for we who will not be moved, we who are scared and angry, and we who are loving and resisting. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing, "We are a gentle, angry people. A prayer for America. God of many names, you who has endowed us with the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, let us remember this day that in this country there is no national religion, there is no superior race, there is no preferable gender or orientation. We gather holding a common value that the glory of this country rests first and foremost in its diversity. Out of many ideas, out of many beliefs, out of many views, out of many voices, out of many passions, out of many experiences, we are one. Help us, O God, to never forget that we need not be alike to live and love alike. We ask for forgiveness this day for our national and individual transgressions when we have chosen in action or silence in the face of injustice and abuse of power and our failure to claim our own. We ask for forgiveness for when we have not known our neighbor, fed our hungry, or equipped our future generations with knowledge and love. We ask for a blessing on this nation according to our own faith and forms, and pledge our voice in support of moving closer and closer to freedom. These and the prayers of our hearts we pray now in the silence, in the names of those who have come before and those who are yet to be, in the names of all the helpers of humankind. Amen. We will now share a time of silent reflection.
Thank you, Mary. That was quite wonderful. How to follow that. It's our custom here at First Unitarian Church of Honolulu to share our monthly offering with a group whose mission is in concert with our own. This month and next, actually, we are supporting our sister church in Kaikan, Negros Oriental, Philippines. And here is our own Nan Kleiber to tell us a bit more about it.
Good morning, again. No, Paul? Doesn't work? Okay, so when I was in Canada in August, there was a tsunami. There was a major break in the northern part, northeast. There we go, let's try that. When I was in Canada in August, I received a letter from Kaikan, email, worrying about our congregation because of the tsunami warning due to the volcanic explosion in the northeastern part of Russia. People from this tiny village in the Philippines, on the sea, losing their land, were concerned about how we were doing, which I found very moving. And then Ruchi went on to describe what's happening in their church. I just wanted to share about our Sunday worship at the Kaikan Church this week in August. Every first and last Sunday, our minister, the minister Reverend Tisano Kapaya, visits other Unitarian churches here on Negros Oriental as part of his work as district minister, especially the ones without a local pastor. Even when he's not with us, he prepares the worship program ahead of time and assigns people to lead the different parts of the service. Does that sound familiar, gang? This Sunday was extra special. Each group in our congregation offered a song before the sermon. The theme was, listen to this, the meaning of involvement and participation. and Mrs. Roby gave a heartfelt message that was really touched us. She reminded us how important it is to take part in the activities and programs of our congregation and community. We also lifted prayers for our brothers and sisters affected by the tsunami. That's all for now, Nan. Take place, and may God bless you all, always. Please be generous. These people are concerned about us, and we can express our concern about them in a very, very concrete way. Thank you.
So there are many ways to give. You can put cash in the calabash as it comes around, or you can send a check to the church, or you can scan this QR code on your screen for those of you who are up to date with all this technology, or you can text to that number to a secure page. So as our calabash goes around, please remember our Share the Plate recipients. Thank you. Your gifts will help sustain the ministry of this church within these walls and without as we build the beloved community. Thank you for your generosity. Here I have our Book of Life. It lives over there on the table right on the other side of the bookcases behind the piano. You're invited to come in the morning or during the week if you're here and write in your joys and concerns to share with all of us. Today we seem to only have joys, but I am sure that there are some sorrows in our hearts given this wonderful sermon we just heard this morning. So I'm going to pass my hand over the congregation, and if you have any concerns, please keep them in your heart or share them with all of us. And we hold all of those sorrows in our hearts, but also there are joys. So this morning, Carla shares with us that on September 21st, Ramota Anand, who is a member of our congregation, received the King Kekalike High School in Maui's alumni distinction. When he was in high school, when he was high school age, it was Ramota's idea to get educated. But he wanted to give up because it was just too hard with his physical challenges. His dad would not let him quit. So he did graduate with all A's. Ramota is so happy and honored to receive this award and thanks everyone who helped him, especially his dad. So congratulations, Ramota. Also, this is a great day because we are welcoming back Dan and Sue Carpenter and Beth Byers. Yay! Okay, so it is good to be together. Thank you, everyone. I am going to pass my hand over the other direction, and anyone with additional joys, please shout them out. Thank you, everyone, and this is such a wonderful, beloved community. I'm so happy to be part of it, yes. So our closing song, I don't know why we call it a closing song. It's not quite a closing. Anyway, our next song is I Know I Can. So please rise and body your spirit to join the choir in singing I Know I Can. Whoa, the Spirit has moved us. Can I get an amen? Okay, let us extinguish our chalice. Please read with me. The flame is extinguished, but not our hope for the future, our courage in the face of crisis, or the love we share with all the world. So a few announcements. Marshall, come up. You can use that mic there, I think.
My heart will go on. Well, my name is Marshall, as many of you know. I have a hand in the gallery on the Poly. We have been stringing together cobbled up art shows just to keep the walls occupied. But now we are launching an actual exhibit featuring my art. And so this exhibit is going to be promoted to the media like a regular art show would be. We're sending out all the usual information. And we're going to try and get the gallery back up and running so that after I'm done doing the home crowd, we can get non-member artists to come in like we used to. And the problem, of course, was the church used to be open 4 days a week for people to drop in. Well, it's not. So now, in order to be open, we need to have advertised hours to show the artists we're serious. And we need volunteers to come in and take 2-3 hours once in a while. You can knit, you can watch movies on your tablet, you can do whatever you want. So
Thank you, Marshall.
Are we done? Oh, sorry. Anyway.
Okay, the
if you
gallery is
haven't-
going to be open and we need people to sit it.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you. Okay,
Bye.
Carla.
Okay, I'll be brief. Hey, if you weren't here last Sunday for our workshop, please stay for today. It's part one of Listening to Understand. And our absolutely fabulous hospitality team has lunch again, so grab something to eat. Come in here. We're going to start promptly at 11:30. I said 1 o'clock. Last time we went 1:15, so I just wanted to be full disclosure. So please come.
And it was a wonderful workshop. I highly recommend it. This Friday is the first Friday of October, and Beth Byers is going to be leading us in a beautiful Taizé service. This is a quiet, reflective time of singing, meditation, readings, and candle lighting on the theme of facing the future together. Everyone is welcome. No experience necessary. We'll be here at 7 p.m. and it will last 1 hour. So it's a wonderfully restful, inspirational way to spend a Friday evening. Okay, next week, Sunday after church. Oh, well, hold on. Okay, we'll do this in chronological order here. Next week, Sunday after church, we will be having a town hall meeting led by the board. And there is a report from the Ministerial Search Committee on some developments that they'd like to talk to everybody about. So please stay after church next Sunday. And then October 18.
Pride Parade. We will not be marching in the parade this year. It's Saturday, October 18th, 3 to 5. You know where to go. But we will be standing together with our T-shirts and our banner. If you don't have a T-shirt, there are still some, and we will gather in front of the Bank of Hawaii and Long's on Kalakaua Avenue, and Marie knows everything. We want to make our presence known, and now more than ever, you know.
So October 18 is a big day. And I got to tell you, I'm old. So I don't know I can do everything, but it's the next No Kings rally also down at the Capitol. And so we don't have to march there either. We just stand there with our, you know, whatever we want, our T-shirts, our banners, our signs that say, come on, we got to get it together, gang. So that would be from 11 to 1, and then the Pride happening from 4 to whatever, 3 to 5, in the sun in Waikiki or in the sun in front of the Capitol. So take your pick, get a tan. It'll be a great day. Next thing to look forward to, I mean, while things are happening, is November the 8th, which is Saturday. The denomination is coming to support us and give us more energy and excitement. So Reverend Sarah, Reverend Sunshine, Reverend Sam are all going to come and for a workshop on Saturday, November the 8th. We're going to be at Ho'omalahia Gardens. So, what a great place to spend a Saturday. But we'd like to have a couple of people who are willing to help with the planning of this. And there will be a Zoom meeting this week, either Wednesday evening or Thursday evening, to help plan it. And if you're interested, see Sue Yamani Carpenter after the service. Okay, any other announcements? I think maybe that's a lot of exciting things. Okay, thanks.
We close with the words of Wayne B. Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. Blessed be. Please rise in body or spirit to sing Hawaii. Aloha.